Everything you've been taught about the quiet, frozen graveyard at the edge of our solar system is a lie. Something is waking up in the cosmic dark, a violent anomaly that forces our ship, Funny Science, into a desperate race against physics itself. If you don't stay until the final transmit, this is a place so dense that even light becomes a prisoner, trapped in the chaotic maze of the radiative zone for nearly 170,000 years before it can finally break free into the dark. Suddenly, the ship's warning sirens begin to wail in a frantic, terrifying rhythm as we cross into the corona, confronting the absolute madness of the coronal heating paradox. Logically, moving away from a fire should cool you down, but here, the temperature breaks all common sense, spiking to an inexplicable 2 million degrees Celsius. Eager to escape this radiation nightmare, we punch the engine to light speed, watching the timer hit 3 minutes and 13 seconds as we arrive at Mercury, 58 million kilometers away. This planet is a brutalized iron cannonball, a heavy metallic heart making up 70% of its volume, wrapped in a tragically thin, scarred, rocky skin. It is a world of heartbreaking extremes, where you can freeze and burn at the exact same moment, with temperatures swinging violently from a scorching 430 degrees Celsius down to a suffocating minus 180 degrees. Locked in an agonizing 3.2 orbital resonance, Mercury spins exactly 3 times for every 2 orbits, making the sun rise, loop backward in the sky, and set, a visual testament to a lonely sentinel trapped in an eternal, crushing dance with its master. Leaving behind the broken, dual-natured deserts of Mercury, we steer our ship back into the absolute quiet of the void, watching the cosmic timer slip past the 6-minute mark. Ahead of us lies a suffocating beauty, a planet buried beneath a flawless, gleaming shroud of yellowish clouds that human ancestors used to worship as the brightest jewel in the dawn sky. We call her Venus, our sister planet. But as the sensors begin to pierce that thick, opalescent fog, you realize this is a beautiful, deceptive monster. Venus is a planetary nightmare, holding the title of the hottest planet in our solar system at a permanent 470 degrees Celsius due to a runaway greenhouse effect. Its atmosphere is a dense sea of carbon dioxide mixed with sweeping clouds of pure, corrosive sulfuric acid, creating a surface pressure 92 times greater than that of Earth. Standing on its scorched plains would feel exactly like being dropped 900 meters deep into a dark earthly ocean, an invisible vice that would instantly crush your bones into dust. We pull away from that toxic hellscape, and at 8 minutes and 19 seconds, a sight appears that instantly brings tears of relief to my eyes. A magnificent, swirling marble of deep sapphire blue, brilliant white clouds, and vibrant continents emerges from the blackness, standing out like a lone sanctuary in a dead universe. This is Earth, our home, the only planet where water can dance freely as liquid, ice, and vapor, weaving the delicate tapestry that allows life to exist. Orbiting right beside us is the Moon, whose unusually large size tells a story of an ancient, unimaginably violent birth roughly 4.5 billion years ago. A wandering protoplanet named Theia slammed into the newborn Earth, throwing molten debris into orbit that slowly gathered to form the Moon, giving us our stable tilt and predictable seasons. But the journey calls us further into the rust-colored shadows of Mars, sitting 227.9 million kilometers away at the 12-minute and 40-second mark. Mars is a haunting planetary fossil painted in the deep crimson of iron oxide, where we pass Olympus Mons, a geological titan standing an incredible 25 kilometers high. With its 24.5-hour days, this frozen desert is humanity's ultimate dream for a second home, yet staring down at those empty, dust-swept valleys reminds me how precious our own blue oasis truly is. Shaking off the rust and romanticized dreams of the red planet, we dive headfirst into a vast, silent ocean of debris that serves as the ultimate dividing line of our solar system. Suddenly, at the 17-minute and 40-second mark, a sharp, flashing amber alert floods the cockpit as the Top through V enters the main asteroid belt. This is a celestial graveyard of primordial remnants, a high-stakes minefield where millions of rotating boulders drift in the dark, requiring our ship's advanced navigation array to constantly recalculate our trajectory during this 10-minute transit. Yet, amid this chaotic field of stone and ice, our sensors lock onto a legendary anomaly drifting in the shadows. 16 Psyche. It is a colossal, 200-kilometer-wide exposed planetary heart made of pure, gleaming metal, an unpolished cosmic treasure chest valued at an incomprehensible $10 quintillion. Staring at this drifting fortune makes you realize how fragile our earthly concepts of wealth truly are when floating in a universe of infinite abundance. But the real weight of this journey hits us at 43 minutes and 15 seconds, when we finally clear the debris and arrive at the king of the solar system, Jupiter, looming 778.5 million kilometers from the Sun. Jupiter is a terrifying masterpiece of gravity and gas, its marbled exterior dominated by the Great Red Spot, a monstrous 300-year-old cyclonic tempest that used to be large enough to swallow 3 Earths whole. As we hover near its crushing atmosphere, I find myself thinking about the deep philosophical debate that splits the scientific world down the middle. With a mass 2.5 times greater than all other planets combined, Jupiter is either our solar system's ultimate guardian, a gravity shield catching stray comets, or a chaotic bully, slinging deadly asteroids straight toward Earth. It forces you to wonder if the very giant that allowed life to flourish on our home planet is also the one holding the trigger to our destruction. Escaping the colossal gravitational grip of the gas king, we grant ourselves a quiet, 30-minute interlude to watch the stars stretch into long lines of light before dropping out of warp at our next destination. There is a sudden, breathtaking shift in the viewport as the master clock hits 1 hour and 19 seconds, revealing Saturn, a majestic jewel hanging 1.433 billion kilometers away from the Sun. Saturn is an artistic masterpiece of ice and dust, defined by an expansive, shimmering ring system that looks completely solid from afar, but is actually a delicate cosmic ballet of billions of frozen fragments. Yet, behind this grand visual poetry lies a planet of absolute contradiction, boasting a massive volume that could swallow 763 Earths, but possessing a density so remarkably low at 0.687 grams per cubic centimeter that it would literally float like a beach ball in a giant cosmic ocean. As we plunge our deep space radar beneath its serene, butterscotch-colored clouds, the data paints a picture of pure violence, tracking screaming equatorial winds that top in 1,800 kilometers per hour. Deep inside, under a crushing blanket of liquid metallic hydrogen wrapping a solid rock core, sits the polar crown jewel, a permanent, perfectly geometric hexagonal tempest raging at the North Pole. It is a chilling sight that leaves you staring in silent wonder, a natural architectural mystery that science still struggles to fully explain. But the true feeling of cosmic isolation hits us at the 2-hour and 40-minute mark, when we arrive at Uranus, sitting 2.876 billion kilometers away in the deep freeze. Uranus is a ghostly pale cyan outcast, a world completely unique because it rotates on its side at a bizarre 98-degree axial tilt, literally rolling through its 84-year orbit like a bowling ball. It is a largely neglected, forgotten world wrapped in the coldest planetary atmosphere in the system, dropping to a bone-chilling minus 224 degrees Celsius. Staring at this lonely, sideways planet makes me feel the immense weight of the outer dark, a reminder that the universe does not conform to our rules of symmetry or comfort. Leaving behind the frozen, sideways tilt of Uranus, we drift even deeper into the unyielding twilight of the outer system, where the line between math and magic begins to blur. At exactly 4 hours and 10 minutes, our starship Funny Science drops out of warp before Neptune, a cobalt blue titan screaming in absolute isolation, 4.5 billion kilometers from our sun. Neptune is the ultimate king of winds, a volatile world harboring supersonic storms that tear through the atmosphere at 2,100 kilometers per hour, carving out phantom features like the elusive Great Dark Spot. But what fascinates me most is its birth in human consciousness. It is the only planet discovered entirely by paper and ink, found in 1846 because Newtonian math predicted its gravity before eyes ever saw it. Pushing forward, we break through the threshold of the Kuiper Belt, a vast, quiet ring of icy relics where Pluto drifts at the 5-hour and 28-second mark. Looking at this tiny world, demoted to a dwarf planet in 2006, you feel a strange sort of grief for how human definitions try to neatly categorize the wild, untamable dark. Beyond Pluto, at the eerie 7 billion kilometer line, the space falls completely silent, hinting at a hidden planet 9 that may be sweeping this graveyard clean. Finally, the master clock hits 278 hours, and we cross into the colossal conceptual realm of the Oort Cloud, 300 billion kilometers from home. This is a shell of a trillion frozen comets spanning 3.2 light years, a distance so massive it would take our lightspeed vessel over 3 grueling years just to pass through. It is the edge of existence, the absolute boundary where the sun finally surrenders its gravitational grip to the interstellar sea. As I look out into this endless black, I realize our journey is far from over, and I must ask you, my fellow travelers, where should Funny Science venture next? Staring out into the silent, frozen expanse of the Oort Cloud, where the sun's billions of kilometers of influence finally fade into the interstellar void, a profound truth settles into the cockpit of Funny Science. We did not just travel across vast distances of space and time. We journeyed through a cosmic mirror, from the raging 15 million degree nuclear furnace of the solar core to the crushing toxic embrace of Venus, and finally to the supersonic, diamond-laden abysses of the outer giants. The universe reveals itself not as a random collection of dead rocks, but as a masterpiece of extreme, interconnected forces. We are witnesses to a grand machine where environments dictate reality, turning common gas into liquid metal and ordinary carbon into precious rain. It is a chilling, beautiful reminder that we are all travelers on a fragile blue sanctuary, suspended in an infinite ocean of beautiful chaos. The deepest lesson written across the stars is the law of environmental pressure. Look at how matter behaves under extreme cosmic conditions. A gas like hydrogen, when subjected to the intense gravity of Jupiter, transforms into a powerful, conducting liquid metal. Carbon, trapped in the crushing abyss of Neptune, turns into brilliant, resilient diamonds. The universe is showing us that pressure is not a destructive force. It is the ultimate catalyst for transformation. Reframe your pressures. When life overwhelms you with heavy expectations, stress, or sudden changes, stop viewing them as an invisible vice trying to crush you. Instead, look at them as the cosmic machinery forcing you to shed your old boundaries. You are in your own fusion core. Adapt to your environment. Just as elements shift their physical states to survive different planetary atmospheres, you must remain fluid. Rigidity breaks in a storm. Adaptability allows you to conquer new terrains. Value your sanctuaries. Seeing how rare, hostile, and unforgiving the cosmos truly is reminds us to cherish our internal peace, our relationships, and our mental health. Your mind is your Earth. Protect its delicate balance from being overridden by toxic external forces. When the weight of the world feels heavy today, remember the planetary cores. You are not being crushed. You are simply being forged into a diamond.